Okay, so this is going to be our review of a nice budget Android box. This is the X96 Mini with 2 gigs of RAM and a 16 gig flash in it. I will leave the Amazon link in the description below for any of you guys that want to pick this up, but we are also giving this box away for the month of February. So once again, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Hop on over to our Facebook page and we will show you some other ways where you can get entered into this contest. But let's go. I'm going to get this guy hooked up and we're going to take a look. So I just wanted to point out before I got this thing all connected how tiny this X96 Mini is. So I've got it sitting here next to my Samsung S7 phone and you can see how small it is. So it does have 2 USB ports on the side as well as a spot for a micro SD card there. On the back you've got your audio and your infrared ports as well as your HDMI, your Ethernet, and your power port. So there's nothing lacking in the size of this. It's just overall super tiny, and I look forward to seeing what happens when we get this all set up. Okay, so we have the box all connected now. So I just ran the benchmark test that I install on the box here to check out and see what we got going on here. So as you can see, we got a score of 22,535. Not too bad. I mean, it's not the worst out there. This box, I would say, would probably be good for somebody for a second bedroom or second room where you're not going to be watching a whole lot of graphics intense stuff. Let's go in here and see exactly what we have for the breakdown of that. So as you can see, we got the CPU clocked in at 9,402 of that total benchmark score. Now the GPU shows 0 because this one does not have a 3D supported graphics processing unit in it, which again means you're not going to be able to watch your highly intense graphics movies, nothing in 1080p. It's going to stutter. It's not going to give you a very good viewing quality. But as far as standard definition goes, this box will work great for standard definition stuff. You might even be able to get some 720p stuff on it with no problems. But again, once you get into the higher graphics, the 1080s and the 4Ks, you're going to have a little bit of issue with that running. So let's back out here, and I want to go down into my device and show you guys a little bit about the device itself. So it's got an Amlogic board in it. So that's the chipset that runs the processor. We've got Android 7.1.2 on here, 32-bit version. It's a quad-core processor. If we go down here, we can see that the RAM is in fact a 2 gig RAM. Now I was kind of wondering about that because there are 1 gig RAM models out there. So this is the 2 gig. Like I said before, I will put links to this down in the description, so if you want to pick up this particular box and make sure you're getting the 2 gig model, just click on that link. It'll take you right to the page. You can pick this box up for approximately 50 bucks, much cheaper than a lot of the other boxes you'll see out there. So it is, like I say, it's good for a second room. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody for their primary viewing station, but again, it would be good for a second room, bedroom, something like that, where you're not going to be watching something that's quite graphically intense. Now we've got the system storage in here. So this is a 16 gig unit. Whenever you're dealing with gigabytes, because of the conversion from kilobytes to megabytes to gigabytes, it's not going to show as a full 16 gig. So when you see something that says 16 gig, it's always going to be slightly less because of that conversion steps. If we go down even further here, we can see the CPU information. So it's an ARM Cortex. So when you're putting in apps on this, if you're looking for APKs and you see something that's labeled ARM, that's where you're going to want to put, that's what you're going to want to install on this. So it will handle up to 64-bit, which even though it's got 32-bit installed on here, you can install 32-bit software on 64-bit boxes, but the 64-bit software you can't install on 32. Then we go a little bit further down here, we can see the GPU, so the OpenGL, which is the graphics processor in this. Like I said, it's not a 3D supported one, so you will have to watch some of the lower end quality stuff. You're not going to get the 4Ks or the 1080s. If we scroll down a little bit further here, we can see the build ID, the kernel stuff. Again, a lot of this stuff you're not going to be worried about because it's not going to affect your viewing. So it doesn't have NFC in it, which is a near frequency chip, which would allow it to communicate with other devices you have wirelessly. It's kind of like Bluetooth, but there is a shorter range for NFC chips. So you got a range of about 5 feet on it. So you see that a lot in phones and items that you are using. So the NFC chip, for example, would be something you would use with your Apple Pay or your Android Pay devices. That's the card in it that allows you to do that. And we've got a lot of unsupported stuff down here in this box. So anyways, that's a little bit about the box itself. Now let's back out and let's see what comes factory on this box. So I'm going to go into the settings here, and we're going to go into apps. So it's going to load up for us here. So the Antutu Benchmark, that's something I've installed. I haven't installed anything else on this box yet, but we've got the Chrome, so it comes with Chrome on it. It comes with Facebook, KD Player, which is your Android version of a Kodi player that somebody's programmed up and put on this box. Now, Amazon doesn't like to sell pre-programmed boxes anymore. It's actually against their policies to sell pre-programmed boxes. So when I picked up this box, I'm going to go through here and show you guys, but it is pre-programmed already, so I'm not going to point out anything to Amazon, but let's just leave it as that. You might get a box that's programmed, you might not get a box that's programmed when you're buying through Amazon. So it's got MobDraw on here, which you've seen in some of my other videos as a live TV app. You've got your Netflix on here. So Netflix is supported on non-rooted Android boxes. They do not support on rooted boxes. Some of the rooted boxes use older Netflix players, so this, because most Android boxes do come rooted, this is probably an older version of the Netflix player. You got Skype on here, Twitter, and of course YouTube. So Twitter, Skype, Facebook, these are apps that I don't personally think should be on Android boxes because you're not doing that kind of stuff on your TV, especially Skype. I mean, you would have to connect an external camera to it, get it to work. It's a big process to get it to work. A lot of people will rather just use their phone or their computer for that kind of thing. YouTube is a big player that you should have on your Android box, of course, because then you can go ahead and watch my videos on them. So let's pop in here, and I did tell you that the KD player on this came pre-programmed, so let's pop in here and I'll show you what actually came programmed in this box. So as you can see, it starts up a little differently, but when you get into it, it has the same look and feel as Kodi 17.6 on it. So we go into the add-ons here, and we can see that they've programmed in a bunch of old dead add-ons. So Exodus hasn't been around since, probably early 2017. World News Live actually might still work. Haven't worked with it a lot in the last couple of years just because it was going downhill. Cartoon HD actually has their own app that's not part of the Kodi add-ons anymore. Same with Film On. Sports Devil, this is probably an outdated version of Sports Devil, seeing as everything else on here is a little bit older, but Sports Devil is still around. We got Champion Sports, Covenant. Covenant, again, around November of 2017, stopped being developed by the developers, and so now it is kind of a in limbo add-on. Tube 8, not YouTube 8. We got LubeTube, so this is an adult one. When I am giving people boxes, I make sure I remove all the adult stuff on this. So this box, we're going to be giving it away. I'm going to wipe all this stuff off of here so that you're not going to get that content, and I did not mean to click on it there and have something pop up. We got Video Devil, we got Phoenix. Phoenix is also another one that's no longer around. It has been replaced since then. F4M Tester actually is still around, still good, and still working. And YouTube, so again, I'm sure there's an update to this, but the YouTube player is on there. US TV Now is another good one. Ice Films, I've never been a user of Ice Films myself, but I have heard great things about it. If you're a user of Ice Films, drop a comment below, let me know what you like about it. I feel like I might check it out and post it up in another video coming soon. So that's pretty much what comes on this box for video software. As you can see, there's also some music stuff on here. So it's got Broadcastify, SoundCloud, Apple iTunes podcasts, you got your radio, and you got your karaoke. Personally, I don't use Kodi for the music add-on side of things. I would rather use something like Spotify or iHeartRadio on an independent app. That's up to you whether you choose to use those or not, but again, those are my favorite ones. So if we go down into the programs here, we can see it's got Indigo installed on here, Community Wizard, NavX. A lot of these, again, are old and do not work anymore. So we are going to, like I said, for the giveaway, wipe this off of here and have some better stuff on there for you. And in the Android apps, it shows what we have before. Now again, I'm not a big fan of the Kodi 17.6 stock look. I will probably program this up for the winner with a nicer looking, more compatible, more easy to work with look. But yeah, so that is what comes on this box. So I'm going to disconnect now. We're going to get set up. I'm going to do the giveaway for the Google Home Mini that we were giving away for the month of January. So stay tuned to the video and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, so this is the draw for January, which is the Google Home Mini that we're giving away. So I want to thank everybody for your support that you've shown. We had 112 total entries into this draw across all the different platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. So I just want to remind everybody that for the month of February, we are giving away the Android box that we just reviewed in this video. So if you want to go ahead and get started on that, it's going to be the same rules as last time. Every subscription to one of our channels that you get is going to get you a ballot into the draw. Also make sure you give us a like and a share because we want to get our followers up to 1,000 as soon as possible, because the more followers we have, the better giveaways we're going to be able to do. So let's get started here for the Google Home Mini. Let's hit proceed, and we're going to hit draw first name now, yes. And it's going to shake up that bag digitally for us and draw a name out. So let's see who our winner is. H. McLeod from YouTube. So H. McLeod from YouTube, thank you for your entry. If you want to go ahead and send us a message on Facebook, we will make sure that we get something organized to get this Google Home Mini to you as soon as possible so that you can start enjoying it. Once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button, and we will see you in the next video.